Jesus is the answer for the world today.
Hello again, Pastor Ralph Michael Rivera here, and just wanted to take this second to thank you for joining us once again. I pray that you've been getting a lot out of the devotionals, as much as I have, and that we will continue to grow together. Today we will be talking about the boat that won't sink. Matthews 8:23-27. We're going to take a departure from focusing solely on the spiritual warfare aspect, as well, God's in control and God's in charge. And this is what he gave me. So I am going to share what the Lord gave me. And Matthews 8:23-27 says, "Then he got into the boat and his disciples followed him. Suddenly a furious storm came up on the lake so that the waves swept over the boat, but Jesus was sleeping. And the disciples went and woke him, saying, 'Lord, save us. We're going to drown.' And he replied, 'You of little faith, why are you so afraid?' Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm. And the men were amazed, and they asked, 'What kind of man is this? Even the winds and the waves obey him.'" Even the winds obey him. One day a peasant asked God to allow him to rule over nature, so that according to him, his crops would yield better. And God granted it. God granted it. So when the peasant wanted it to rain, it rained. And when he wanted the sun, and there was plenty of sun, and in his blender, and if he needed more water, well, he made it rain. Basically, he made the weather be exactly what he wanted it to be, or thought that the plants needed it to be. But when the harvest came, to his surprise, it was a great surprise, because it was a total failure. The crop just, never grew. Well, not to the way that he thought they would. So the peasant asked God, he said, "Lord, why did things turn out like this? I mean, I made the climates exactly the way they were supposed to be. Well, actually, that I thought were appropriate." And God answered him and said, "You asked for what you wanted, but not what was really needed. You see, you never asked for storms. And these are sorely needed. For what reason? Well, to clean and to nourish what's already been planted. To scatter the birds and the animals that try to consume it. To purify the crops of pests that can destroy it. Storms are necessary. Brothers, I want you to know that there will be times when we will feel like our ship is sinking, just like the disciples. And while God allows you, glory to God, to go through a transition, don't be scared. There is no reason to be afraid, because God will constantly lead us to go through difficulties that are, at a certain moment, can put our faith to the test. Can I get a witness? Amen. God will put us through difficulties that many of us have experienced already and are currently going through. Difficulties that are testing our faith and our beliefs and causing division between husband and wife, brother and sister, parents and their children. Mark 13:12 talks about this when it says, "Brother will betray brother to death, and a father his child. Children will rebel against their parents and have them put to death. Christian against Christian." Wow. Make no mistake about it, brother. The church is under attack. We are at war and have been for a millennium. See, Satan knows that the church is made up of families. And in his mind, he says, destroy the family, destroy the church. Brothers, like the disciples allowed the storm to lose their faith in Jesus, many of us are guilty of doing the same thing. Losing our trust and our faith in God. See, these verses show that the believer must fully trust God. So let's consider the following reasons. It's necessary. It's a necessary transition. A transition is the action or result of passing from one state or way of being to another. And brothers and sisters, if you want to achieve changes in something or in someone, it will always be necessary for there to be a transition. In other words, we must go through a form of boot camp. Basically, the disciples were in training and were in constant change. And Jesus tells them that this is necessary for them to go to the other side of the Sea of Galilee and undertake this journey. But they didn't think about the storm. They didn't even expect the storm to endanger their lives. Think about it. They came from seeing miracles and hearing the wisdom of Jesus. However, there was much, much more waiting for them on the other side. Demons to be released, women who needed to be healed, a girl who needed to be resurrected. So what's the point? Well, brothers and sisters, the storm was included in the transition to bring necessary changes to their lives, because beyond the miracles that were to be seen in other people, it was necessary for them, the disciples, to experience a miracle in their own personal life. This indicates that God's purpose will always be that we grow, that we are transformed, and sometimes in that process, we'll find ourselves caught up suddenly in a storm of situations that are beyond our control, circumstances that get our total attention. Are you involved in circumstances that have your total attention? And cause us to experience the same kind of desperation, fear, and anguish that the disciples experienced. Storms that will cause the angry waves to smack against the side of the boat that you're in and threaten to tip it over. See, these storms are necessary when they are part of God's purpose for our life. Brothers, it is necessary to trust God because it is precisely He who has told us, let's go to the other side. And being stagnant is not His purpose. Growth is. And this requires that we sometimes go through storms. Brothers, while we are going through those storms, remember, Jesus is in the boat with you. Jesus is in the boat with you. Remember what is written in Hebrews 6:19. Hebrews 6:19. This hope, this confidence, assurance we have as an anchor of the soul, it cannot slip and it cannot break down under whatever pressure bears upon it. A safe and steadfast hope that enters within the veil of the heavenly temple, that most holy place in which the very presence of God's will dwells. Friend, no matter what you face today, our God is bigger. He is still on the throne and in control of every detail. We know that Jesus calmed the storm with His voice with just 3 words: peace, be still. Don't you wonder whether He shouted or got excited or raised His hands? I have this little feeling that He did it. The Bible doesn't tell us, but I have a feeling He was just as calm as He could be, and maybe even whispered as a mother soothing her baby, peace, be still. I'm calling out the Master of the Sea today. Feel free to use a prayer for the storm as your own. Here's the prayer. Dear Father, when I listen to your majestic voice in nature, my heart trembles. Who can understand the wonder of your ways? Your breath alone gives life, and the clouds fulfill your commands. You guide the winds and the waves. Your power is too great to fathom, and whether for correction or love or your land, you hold the storm in your hand. Now I ask you, Jesus, to calm the storm that my brothers and sisters and I are going through. In your name, calm the storm, Jesus. May our hearts trust you in all things. May our minds believe in your will, no matter the situation ahead. Let our souls experience peace. Be still. Amen. Amen. Brothers and sisters, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us today and invite you to join us next week. And I also encourage you to call us at 718-844-3317 if you desire prayer or have questions in regards to our services. May the love, joy, and peace of Christ remain with you and yours throughout the remainder of the day. And remember, brothers and sisters, stand firm, be still, and know that no matter what storm it is that you find yourself going through, that Jesus is in the boat with you.